in my career. No, feeling good, yeah.
Everything's working.
Yeah, everything's working. No surgeries on the horizon, which is refreshing. Been able to be around the guys and out of the training room, which is, kind of the goal for me at this point in my career.
When you look back on last year, just how do you look back on last year?
Last year was a roller coaster. I mean, we had a lot of success in individual games, without looking at the outcomes. With specific reference to Duke, we had 200 yards rushing in the first half, and in a lot of games we outgained our opponents, and it just didn't work out. But it was a growing process, especially for me, and it's unfortunate that the seniors had to go through a season like that. But as a collegiate university and guys with the influx of talent that comes in and the attrition and everyone leaving, those years are going to happen, and all you can do really is grow from it and hopefully apply what we learned into this season.
With what Cascarano is going through injury-wise right now, how do you guys kind of approach him? I mean, that's got to be a tough situation considering sounds like he might have played his last down.
Yeah, no, and I was, I've been Sean's roommate for 4 years, and obviously really close with him and his family. And, he's a positive guy, and he's a smart guy who has a lot going for him. It's never been just football. So, if it was his last down, then, he's got a plan in place where I know he's going to be successful. If he gets to come back, then I know he'll be successful in football field. I have that confidence in him. So, he's staying positive, and he's still around helping us out with plays and stuff, and running the cars. So he's still around, and we're still joking around with him. So no negative vibes over there.
Coach Fairchild talked about developing a physicality and an aggressiveness in the run game. I got to imagine that's music to your ears, right?
Yeah, no, that's definitely something that, as an offensive lineman, you look forward to doing. And I think we got the guys this year that can do it. So obviously you build that on the field, though, and you have to build that confidence in a coach. And, at times last year maybe we didn't do that enough, and hopefully this year we get off to a hot start. And coach keeps calling that run even if it only gets a yard on first down or whatever it may be.
So you've shifted from right guard to center, now left guard, and you're bookended by Morgan on one side and essentially a rookie in the middle.
Yeah.
What's that like for you?
Well, it's weird because 3 years ago when I started, I was the rookie. And last year I started in between two rookies, and now I'm starting next to rookie and next to Morgan, who's anything but. I don't know, it's a lot of fun being able to, move around and take different roles of leadership or, following leaders like Big Mo and, Austin and all that. So this year will be a challenge, and I'm sure that, hopefully I'll be up for it, but I have confidence in Jackson's ability or Ross's ability, whoever plays there. And obviously Morgan, I played with him before, and that's going to be a lot of fun getting back next to him.
Chemistry is always important on the offensive line. Did you feel like you were building that in the spring practice?
Yeah, and well, obviously last spring I didn't get to participate. I was in the weight room, doing shoulder rehab, so it was a lot of fun to be out there with the guys, even if we were complaining about practicing early in the morning every other day. But no, yeah, chemistry is a big part of it, and we've carried that into the offseason more perhaps in other years with a lot of offseason drill work and what have you. So yeah, it's a big deal, and it's been good to have, because the coaches made that change at the end of the spring, and we kind of stayed with that mold of those guys playing those positions, and hopefully just hit the ground running here on Monday.
I would imagine you have to be pretty excited that it's been a mild summer by comparison.
Yeah, until it's 105 next week. It's been 75 this whole week, and of course it's going to turn up next week, I'm sure. But it is what it is.
Conspiracy, huh?
Yeah. Oh no, Coach has the weather. He has the weather thermometer in his office, and he turns it up, turns off the rain, make sure it's all sunny, but that is what it is.
How has the adjustment been with the new offense on the Fairchild?
It's a lot of the same stuff, just a little bit different lingo. And it's difficult. It creates its own challenges because, I've played in that offense previous and for 3 years, so it's kind of like the back of my hand. But now it's the same stuff, but it's called something different, and it trips you up sometimes. But we've done a lot of work in the offseason. Hopefully, it's a smooth transition into the summer.
When you watch David Watford, do you like what you see from him?
Oh yeah. Well, I like what I see from all the quarterbacks really, but Dave obviously adds another element, and you know, he's an electric player, and hopefully, you know, what he has in his skill set translates into success on the field. And I know he's been working hard to have that happen, and you know, we're all rooting for him.
Coach mentioned they're going to name a starter soon in fall practice. For an offensive lineman, how, I guess, satisfied is that to know that whoever's going to be the starter, you're going to work hand in hand with this guy?
Well, as an offensive lineman, you know, our job is to protect and, you know, whoever's back there. And I think at times last year we didn't do enough to make those guys comfortable back there, whoever it was, or establish a run game so that they knew they didn't have to complete a 3rd down and 7 pass every time. But obviously it comes back to the chemistry, is where when you're playing with a guy, when you're struggling with that guy through camp and you're playing with him the first couple games, obviously you're going to have that bond with that guy, and hopefully that carries us through the season. But ultimately, whoever's back there, it's our job to protect him. You know, we need to do a better job of that, and hopefully we do.
When quarterbacks are being rotated back there, what, you know, if any impact does that have on how you protect in the offensive line as opposed to just having one set guy knowing what to do?
Yeah, well, and it's especially, you know, a good question considering who we have back there. But we can't really, especially with a guy like Dave back there, you can't really, like, you know, we're not guessing what he's going to do. We're just doing what we do and locking on guys and trying to keep them away from the quarterback. So, you know, whoever's back there, we play the same way, and just trying to do your job and no one else's.
Luke, from your perspective, when they would rotate quarterbacks in the last couple of years, how did the quarterbacks handle that mentally when they were away from the field during practice, during the game, whatever it may be?
Well, I was good friends with Michael Rocco, and he was a strong kid and, you know, confident kid who, you know, believed in himself. So I can only really speak to him, and he did well with it and made the best of his opportunities. And, you know, it didn't work out, obviously, but, you know, he moved on, and hopefully his career turns up or has a better outlook at Richmond. But I think, you know, when you get to this level and you're playing the position of quarterback, which is, you know, most highly competitive position in football, there's got to be some kind of level of, I got to perform, and if I don't, then the next guy's going to come up. And I think guys on our team understand that, and, you know, they know what the expectations are, and if they're not meeting them, then the next guy's going to come up. But, you know, these 2 guys that we got going in the season are both, you know, level-headed guys and competitive guys, so it should be a lot of fun to watch.
Being a senior and given what you experienced 2 years ago and then the struggles last year, does that kind of give you a sense of urgency going into this season now?
Yeah, well, everyone talks about, you know, this is my senior year, you know, let's win some games, but I've never really approached the season differently. I just try to go out there and compete and, you know, let the chips fall where they do. And this camp and spring ball and all that stuff is really where you put the work in, and the season happens, and you get on a roll, or whatever happens, and, you know, hopefully, yeah, we're playing in December as opposed to watching everyone else play, but, you know, we'll see what happens.